In this video, we're going to be making 3 types of Korean side dishes that are amazing additions to any meal. These side dishes, or banchan in Korean, can be eaten as appetizers or snacks or alongside your main meal. They can all be eaten cold, straight out of the fridge, which can be really useful if you don't have time to prepare full meals. Let's get into it. For our first recipe, start by boiling up some eggs in water that contains some salt and white vinegar. How long you boil the eggs for will depend on how you like them. We prefer them with a softer yolk, so we boil for 5 to 6 minutes. But if you prefer a full hard-boiled egg, then go for 8 to 10 minutes. Timings are going to depend on your stove and the pot you're boiling in, so you might need some trial and error to get this right. When the boiling is done, we want to immediately stop the eggs from cooking. You can do this by moving the eggs into an ice bath, but we usually just flush the pot a few times with cold tap water. The idea is just to bring the temperature down as fast as possible. Now carefully peel the eggs. Try to make sure that the cooked egg inside doesn't break. The vinegar that we added earlier to the boiling water will make the eggs much easier to peel. Now put the peeled eggs into a jar and let's get to making the marinade. In a bowl, add soy sauce and water in a 1:1 ratio. And then add honey and mix it up well. Now cut 2 large spring onions into small bits and then add into the marinade. Do the same with the garlic. Mince up 3 garlic cloves and add to the marinade. Finally, repeat with half a red chili. Here we're de-seeding the chili, but if you like it spicy, you can leave the seeds in, no problem. Now add sesame seeds, give everything a mix, and then pour the marinade into the jar with the eggs. Make sure all the eggs are submerged, and then cover the jar and put it in the fridge for at least 6 hours before consuming. This is what they look like after a few days in the fridge. You might think they'd be extremely salty with all that soy sauce, but as long as the egg whites aren't broken, they should actually be perfectly salted. My favorite way to eat these is to have them in soupy noodle dishes like ramen. So good! For our second banchan, start by washing and cleaning 450 grams of bean sprouts. Remove any sprouts that have gone black as well. In a large pot, boil some water with a teaspoon of salt and then add the sprouts to blanch for about 2 minutes. Drain them and then rinse under cold water. This ensures that the sprouts are cooked but still retain their crunchiness. Now time to prep the rest of the ingredients. Chop up 2 spring onions into small bits and add to a mixing bowl. And then mince up 4 cloves of garlic and add to the same bowl as well. Now into this bowl, we're going to add a combination of sauces and flavorings. So first, 2 teaspoons of sesame oil, followed by 4 teaspoons of fish sauce. And finally, 2 tablespoons of Korean red pepper flakes called gochugaru. This is the same stuff you use to make kimchi, but just in a fine powder form. Finally, add sesame seeds and mix. Add this into the sprouts from earlier and then mix well. And that's it! This dish has a lovely crunchy texture and is perfect with some rice and meat. It may look red and fiery, but gochugaru isn't actually very spicy, so you should like this even if you're not into spicy food. Our final banchan is a seasoned spinach dish. Cut the roots off 500 grams of spinach and then wash it thoroughly in water. The spinach that we get here in Malaysia usually has some sand and soil on it, so we find that we need to rinse it in a tub of water several times and then soak it for about 15 minutes or so. While the spinach is soaking, we'll prepare the other ingredients. We're using similar ingredients to the previous banchan: spring onion, chili and garlic. Chop these all up into small pieces and then place in a mixing bowl. Now back to the spinach. Pull the stalks out of the water carefully. Any sediment would have settled on the bottom, so don't mix the water up too much. Make sure to remove any stalks that seem too thick and fibrous. Now blanch the spinach for 1 or 2 minutes in some boiling water. You should see the spinach turn a really rich, dark green. And similarly to the previous recipe, cool the spinach down quickly under some running water. Now squeeze out as much water as you can. This helps with retaining the crunchiness to the final banchan. Once you've done that, cut the spinach up into bite-sized chunks and then set aside. Now add the other ingredients into the spinach and then, surprise surprise, add soy sauce, sesame oil and sesame seeds. Hey, if it works, right? Mix everything up thoroughly and you're done. Again, this banchan is awesome to eat alongside some rice and meat, or even to put on top of a dry noodle dish. All the banchan today are just very versatile dishes, and we find them to be great with any sort of cuisine. And that's it for today. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, do consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. Enjoy your banchan, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!